Hello and welcome to No First Physics, where we come straight to the point immediately. In this video, we are going to discuss something slightly more advanced and much more interesting: the electric field due to a non-uniformly charged sphere. So that is the point of discussion in this particular video. In the previous video, we found the electric field due to a uniformly charged sphere, something like this. The charge was uniformly distributed across the entire volume of the sphere. But what if the charge is not uniformly distributed? Suppose we have a sphere like this, where the charge density is smaller near the center and increases as we move outward. So, in this case, how do we calculate the electric field? That's the question. Now, to make the mathematics manageable, we will take a special case where the volume charge density varies according to the relation rho equal to rho naught r, where rho naught is a constant. This means the charge density increases linearly with distance from the center. That means as we start from the center and go towards the periphery, the volume charge density increases linearly. This means the charge density increases linearly, and even though the distribution is non-uniform, the increase itself is uniform. Let me repeat that. Even though the distribution of charge across the entire volume is non-uniform, it increases at a uniform rate from the center towards the periphery. Now, what is our goal? Our goal is to find the electric field at some point P located inside the sphere, as shown over here. And as always, we draw an imaginary Gaussian surface, Gaussian spherical surface to be more precise, of radius r passing through point P. And now, let us apply Gauss's law. So, we will write integration of E dot dA is equal to Q inside by epsilon naught. Now, as discussed in the previous videos, the left hand side, this side, remains straightforward because of spherical symmetry. The electric field has the same magnitude everywhere on the Gaussian surface and is directed radially outwards. Therefore, the left hand side will be E dot 4 pi r square, as I have explained in the previous videos. So, the equation becomes Q inside upon epsilon naught. So, this is the equation now. Now comes the challenging part, finding Q inside. In the previous case of uniform charge density, we simply multiplied charge density rho into V, where V was the volume. But here, the charge density changes with radius. So, we cannot directly use and write Q inside is equal to rho into 4 upon 3 pi r cube. We cannot do this because this rho is not constant throughout the volume. Instead, we must use integration. So, let us consider a thin spherical shell inside the sphere at a distance x from the center, as shown over here. And the shell has a thickness dx. Now, for this extremely thin shell, we can assume the charge density is approximately constant. Therefore, for this particular shell, rho is equal to rho x, and that would remain constant throughout the small thickness dx. Now, let us find out the small charge dq on this shell. Therefore, the small charge dq on this particular shell will be dq into rho into the volume of this shell. So, that will be equal to rho naught x, that is for rho. And what is the volume of this shell? Please remember, it's a part of a sphere. So, the volume will be its area, the surface area, into the thickness of this shell. And that will give me a rho x into 4 pi, radius is x for this shell, so 4 pi x square into dx. And if I simplify this further, I'll get 4 pi rho naught into x cube into dx. So that is the small charge dq on this spherical shell. Now, to find out the total charge enclosed inside the Gaussian surface of radius r, we must integrate from 0 to r, from this point 0 up to this point r. So, the total charge q inside will be integration of 4 pi rho naught x cube dx from the limits of 0 to r. So, that will give me 4 pi rho naught integration of x cube dx between the limits 0 to r. Now, we know integration of x cube is x raised to 4 by 4. So, I will get the equation, the q inside will be equal to 4 pi rho naught into x raised to 4 by 4 between the limits 0 to r. And I'm assuming you know the integration, how to solve this between the limits 0 to r. So, on simplifying, I'll get 4 pi rho naught into r raised to 4 by 4. Further simplifying, 4 will get cancelled out. So, I'll get pi rho naught r raised to 4. So, this is Q inside. So, now if I go back to the Gauss's law, I can write E into 4 pi r square, the left hand side as it is, into q inside upon epsilon naught. Now q inside is pi rho naught r raised to 4 upon epsilon naught. Simplifying this, pi r square will get cancelled on both sides, so I'll get 4e is equal to rho r square by epsilon naught. And this would imply the electric field is equal to rho naught by 4 epsilon naught into r square. This is the electric field inside a sphere when the charge density increases linearly with distance from the center. Notice something very interesting here. The electric field E is proportional to r square. When the charge was uniformly distributed, at that time E was proportional to r, but here it is proportional to r square because as we go away from the center, the charge is increasing at a faster rate. It is proportional to r. Therefore, we get here E proportional to r square. Right. I hope this helped you understand how Gauss's law can also handle non-uniform charge distributions using integration. If you enjoyed this video and if you like this video, please subscribe to Know First Physics. And in the next video, we will be starting up with a new topic. We will be looking at electric potential and we will discuss that in detail, and I will connect with all of you in that video. Thank you.